Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Matthew here with Crescentville. We're doing a mail day pickup, you could essentially say, an unboxing, kind of a special video. Essentially, I asked my father for sports cards. You can see the sports cards all over the table. If you look at the eBay channel, if you look at the eBay page, the YouTube channel, you'll see several postings for sports cards. Essentially, my dad and I started doing this back in 1991, took a break probably from about 96, 97, up until when a lot of other people came back into it in 2020. So there was a bit of a break there, but in the early 90s, they call it the junk wax era. We were there and then took a break from it. And now we're back from 2020 all the way up until today. And just kind of piece of nostalgia. So I jokingly asked my father for sports cards. I say, if he's ever at Walmart, I'm like, well, make sure you get some sports cards while you're there, knowing that he doesn't always see the true maybe value or return on investment that sports cards can and cannot have at times. And he has, kind of directed me to not go after sports cards, but at the same time, it's a love and passion of mine. It's also a bit of my childhood coming through. So a bit of humor that we share is me constantly asking him to get sports cards, and then I don't even say send them to me. I just want him to buy it on his own behalf, just to have him have it. But in this case, there was a situation where I was like, "Hey, you're bored. You're in Ocala, Florida, visiting. Why don't you go to a local sports card shop and just see if you can find some good deals on Michael Jordan cards? You can see all the Michael Jordan cards. Trey Murphy there too." But you can see that I'm a big Michael Jordan collector, and I was kind of jokingly with him, said, "Hey, why don't you go to the sports card shop?" Spent a little time there, and it was I think it was Grand Slam Collectibles in Ocala, and so that's the shop. And then he goes to it. He buys some Jordan cards, and he takes the time to package it and send it to me. So very nice of a father to do that kind of thing. And let's just look at some of the packaging that he put into it. So he kind of puts this, like, I would kind of consider this piece of foam his way of protecting the cards, which is very nice, and it's really thoughtful. So it looks like he put another piece of foam there. And then it looks like the red packaging is the card. So he put several pieces of foam in here. And he did that so the cards wouldn't jostle around, which is very nice. And I have my own way of packaging, but this is my father's way of packaging. And I think that this video is going to be great no matter what cards he sent. Just getting to see your father's packaging abilities on camera is already, I find that entertaining. I don't know if anybody else does. Because a lot of people might be my age and also fall into this early 90s, come back in 2020 group of individuals. So, okay, what he's doing now, it looks like the sports card shop probably put them in a bag. So he's just wrapped the bag up a couple of times to probably also, again, keep the cards as secure as possible. So, let's just kind of start diving into the cards that he acquired. And I said, I'm going to be excited for you just to pick up anything. Let's see what you get. And you can kind of see that they have some price tags here. And he was showing me some images of the cards before he sent them. He kind of said, "Hey, are you interested in any of these?" I'm like, "I'm interested to see what you pick up." So, and what's also kind of cool is whenever you have, let me try to get this in focus. Let's see here. Sometimes when I zoom in, it will essentially change the focus. And I'm still not getting it quite in focus, like Upper Deck is not. I think it's almost picking up cards behind it. There we go. All right, so I do not have this card. So let me just start off by saying I really appreciate it whenever I can pick up a card that is not currently in my collection. So, and Apologize, my fingernail length is probably a little too long. I need to get these cut. I do too many of these videos highlighting my fingers. I'm almost a hand model that needs to really focus on my fingernail length. So first and foremost, I'm sorry. Second, will this card grade out? And what would I rough estimate the grade to be? So looking at the surface is, I would say, close to flawless. Can't find too many errors on the back. On the front, let's see if we can find any errors. Not really too many errors on the surface. The centering, I would say there's not too many what I call discrepancies. So surface, possibly something here. Probably a 9 on the surface. The centering, probably a 9. Let's take a look at the edges and corners. Those are pretty sharp. So probably 9.5 on the edges and corners. And it probably, for a self-graded, we may go ahead and just self-grade some of these cards that he sent. Probably will. This card here is probably in between a 9 and a 9.5. So it's kind of interesting, fun card to review. Okay, he went for a card that is already, and by CSG, I think now it's CGC, was known as CGC now. So they're giving this an 8.5, and sometimes even in this format, they would have, what would you say, subgrades. So that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this is subgrade aspect. So let's go ahead and take this plastic off and let's kind of inspect the card and see maybe why CGC CSG gave it an 8.5. And, I'm looking at, could possibly right there, the surface. It could be that I think that's on the card and that's not on the slab. So like this, there's a bit of, I would probably, yeah, I'm pretty sure that is on the card. So probably the surface is, marking it down to, and I do the same thing, honestly. We did another video recently where there was a speckle of a different color and it got marked down to, let's see here. I think it was the Jam Master, yep, and our surface was an 8. So yeah, I do the same thing whenever, and you can probably see this with the naked eye. Is bit right that right there. Let me just test, see if I can see with the naked eye. I can barely see it with the naked eye, so I might give that an 8.5 to what they did, right? Corners and edges look really sharp, so, and that could be another one there. And I don't think that is the slab. So I think the surface brought the card score down on this. And I do the same thing with my self-graded stuff. So I agree with this grade. I grade my stuff pretty much the same way. This corner here and edge is, 8.5 is a very fair, accurate, what I would also go with grade. So, awesome work. So he bought a card for about $25 graded. And this is also a similar naming convention that we do, near mint to mint plus for 8.5s. That's actually the same naming convention we do. But yeah, this is great. I really enjoyed this kind of slab. Our custom slabs, we do a little different. Like they're definitely predominantly putting the number in the left. We do as well. Their logo's a little bit smaller. Our logo's a little bit more predominant. Their font is way larger. I essentially kind of look at how I do the font is, you already know what the card is basically. Most people, if they buy a card graded, they know the player's name, the card. I've had people say like, hey, you could increase the font on the subgrades, and we could. Essentially, I think that most people know that, and what the real focus is the number, and I also like having our logo be a main focus point. So that's why I do that logo that way. I do like they have this like hollow kind of effect around a piece of the card. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. I like that touch a lot. Their back, kind of similar to ours. Actually, they have a really nice sticker on the back. Props to them. They do a serial number, a barcode, which we could probably start doing. And they also do a QR code that goes to a web page, which is what we also do. So very similar, somewhat different. They have a little bit more. This is a professional grading company. I am just a self-grader, but overall, great card. 93 base, Fleer Jordan. Pretty much $25 is probably the accurate price for it. Excellent work. Yeah, dead on with that grade. Totally agree with it. This is interesting because I bought a box of Topps 92, 93, essentially looking for a Shaq gold foil card. But in addition to kind of Shaq gold foil rookie hunting, I was looking for Jordan cards. And I only got 2 in the whole box. And I kind of felt like, wow. So here you can already tell that this surface is, I would say, pretty heavily damaged. That would probably, for me, take it down to and I could probably see that with yeah. So that probably takes it down to a 7.5 for this surface scratch there. The rest of the card's nice, and there's a bit of a rarity to these Topps cards because there's only 2 per box. Whenever the one box I bought, there might be different for other ones. But yeah, this card probably get like a 7 to 7.5 because that's a pretty heavy scratch on the front. But deeply appreciate my dad picking up a card that I may not already have, which I do. I have multiple copies of that card. It's pretty common. Here we go. Okay, so this is a Fleer Jordan Retrospect. Interesting. Take a look at this Fleer, and I'm a big fan of Fleer. So that corner's got some damage to it. Kind of even see, without even having to zoom in too much, that's probably like an 8 corner surface. I think I already see an indentation line. So this is probably a 7.5, but that corner's damaged pretty well. So this is a 7 to 7.5 kind of card. Fleer 2008, 2000. I wonder when the last year Fleer published cards. I wonder if this is near there. But anywho, yeah, 7 to 7.5. Still nice that he sent the card. Appreciate that. This one, Hoops 1990. I have a lot, probably like 9 copies of this card. I'll continue to take more and more of them. I am a huge fan of the 1990 Hoops. Surface, a bit of an indentation line there. Probably could a couple more right there. Probably going to 8.5 on surface, maybe 8. The centering is going to be the biggest thing here. Centering is going to be like a 7. Yeah, 7, maybe 7.5, but centering's pretty far off. So it's probably like a 7. This probably card is going between a 7.5 and an 8. So yeah, the first card he picked out was probably the highest grade overall. And that's probably in between a 9 and a 9.5. So that is definitely doing well. This card is actually looking really nice. I think the centering on this, I've seen them be right heavy quite a bit. So I'm not going to like totally mark that down because I think that's almost how the card is printed. Take a look at the back. I like looking at from here to here is a good range. So yeah, overall the surface on it is maybe a 9.5 to a 10. The corners and the edges on this is very nice. So this card could probably get a 9 to 9.5, depending on that centering. Might take it down to an 8.5 on centering, but probably 9 to 9.5 on that. It's a really nice card. So 2 cards, 9 to 9.5s. Other cards a little bit, and these cards are probably passed around the Grand Slam Collectibles in Ocala. Probably jumped around between collectors for 30 plus years. So obviously there's going to be some wear and tear on them. So this card, I think he just picked out because he probably thought it was cool. It's a Jordan, let's see here. Oh, okay, a bit of surface wear on the back. Upper deck was this 2009, 2010. Damaged corner here. I'm pretty sure I saw it one angle. Maybe not. Maybe it was just the what would I say? The shadow of my hand possibly is doing that. So yeah, a bit of a surface. Okay, that came off a little bit. Okay, that's great. Okay, so that's just a bit of fuzz. So the surface on that is not nearly as bad as I thought it was. Centering, you can kind of see from there to there. Pretty good. This would be a candidate for a 9 to 9.5. So 3 9.95s, and those would be this upper deck, this hoops, and the first card that we took a look at, which was another upper deck. So these 3 cards could get essentially self-grade out between 9 and 9.5. And the other cards will probably be giveaways. I may just keep them in the collection because my dad was nice enough to send them to me. So, awesome work, Father. Great work. Keep watching. Collect with your family. Make memories. Enjoy yourself. Keep watching.